Hey, so I just finished watching In the Earth, and how long am I gonna do this bit for? You know what? I'm never gonna acknowledge that I'm doing a bit. Never mind. Uh, Here, let's just start from the beginning. Uh, One second. Let me think of a good bit to start with now. You know the scene where they're all tripping balls in the mushroom field in a field in England? Another Ben Wheatley movie. Yeah, Ben Wheatley decided to do that movie again with In the Earth, well, combining thousands of other movies that we've all seen, like literally any Ari Aster movie, or if you want to go even further back in time, literally either of the Wicker Man films, or just any other cult or nature horror film. But this one's good. It definitely delivers on what you would expect from a field in England if you're just watching for hoping for a repeat of that kaleidoscope trippy sequence from the end of a field of England, only a little bit. I don't know if it's necessarily more of it. It's more spread out throughout the movie in this one, but it goes on for about the same amount of time, I would guess. Uh, oh crap! It's starting to get a little. Yeah, there we go. Oh wow, excuse me. Anyways, so I mostly watched this movie for the visuals, which were great. So it definitely delivered on that front. And for the Ben Wheatley classic gore, which was a little disappointing this time around since it was R rated and not rated. So that meant it was definitely much lighter this time around. But whatever, you take what you can get. It was still very like wince inducing when it was used. It was just that this was a more like, I don't want to say boring movie, but like it was way more sporadically used and it wasn't as graphic. Uh, but yeah, it was fun. It was very neon soaked. It kind of had like an 80s slasher feel to it. Like, not quite John Carpenter, but Uh, but yeah, there was a stretch in the middle, which is one of Ben Wheatley's finest. Uh, but it kind of struggles to keep up the momentum at times, especially in the first and third acts. But even though a lot of people complained about the ending, I actually thought that was one of the stronger points, mostly because it delivers on trippy visuals. The story, uh, I'm not sure if I would say it's necessarily strong or necessarily weak. It's definitely creative and at times unique, but it leans towards being more absurd. But if you can accept that absurdity and appreciate it for just it being gonzo, weird, original, then you, as I did, can appreciate it. Because there are some concepts in this movie that are just flat out weird and borderline laughable, but if you can go with it, it's fun. So yeah, there's definitely parts in this movie that work, parts that don't. It's definitely a very flawed film. It's not amazing. It's not his best. It's close to being his worst, but it's not his worst. Yeah, that being said, I think what would be fair for this one would be a 7.75 out of 10. Let's put a big fat question mark there. Somewhere in the sevens would be appropriate. Because, I mean, it's above average, so I feel like I should give it above 7.5. But there were so many times throughout the movie where it felt like a 7.25. But there's so much originality in here that's cool. So many bizarre visuals that you don't get in many mainstream movies that I feel like I should give it more of a higher score because of that. It's just that there are long stretches that border on being boring, even though you're still invested in it because, it's Ben Wheatley. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you do too, but I've heard this one hasn't been getting the warmest reception, so tread carefully.